They say no one is infallible, and temptation can come to the person who holds most fast to his worship and seems righteous in people's eyes. The story I'm going to tell today is one of the strangest fall of the Devout tales. He lost himself by one step on the devil's path. The story begins long ago. There were 3 brothers, and they had one sister, whom they loved and protected fiercely. Circumstances forced them to travel urgently, and they couldn't leave their sister alone at home, so they kept thinking and consulting each other. Where do we take her? Who can we trust with our honor and our only sister? They found only one solution. The monk who lived in a hermitage far from people, famous for his devotion and asceticism, completely cut off from the world and its distractions. They went to the monk and presented the matter to him, but at first he strongly refused. He feared for his faith and his solitude, and told them, "No, I am a man devoted to worship, and I do not like to be drawn into matters like this." But the brothers persisted and coaxed him, "Master, there's no one but you. You are the righteous man we will trust and leave her with," until finally he agreed under their pressure, but he stipulated that she live in a different hermitage near his, not in the same place with him, and that he alone would look after her food and drink from a distance now and then. Days began to pass, and the monk was doing as he was. He would prepare the food and go put it in front of her cell door, knock lightly, and walk away quickly before she opened the door, so she wouldn't notice him nor he notice her. Up until then, everything was fine, and the monk lived in peace and prayer. But the devil doesn't stay silent. He doesn't come on the first day telling you deny or kill. No, he is a master of the long game. One day, while the monk was sitting alone, the devil came to him as a thought in his mind and said, "How do you know she even eats it? Maybe an animal came and took the food, or some stranger stole it. That girl is a trust on your shoulders. You must make sure she took the food herself." The monk considered the words and found them reasonable. Indeed, it's a trust. So he began to change his method. He started putting the food and knocking, but this time he wouldn't leave immediately. He would stand a little farther away and watch her as she opened the door and took the food, just to reassure himself. See the beginning? Just reassurance. The devil saw him starting to respond, so he moved to the next step. He said to him, "O monk, this girl lives in isolation and silence, and you are a devout man used to solitude, but she is a young woman and might go mad from emptiness and fear. Why don't you speak to her from behind the door? Cheer her up and comfort her in her estrangement from her family. That's even an act of kindness and worship." The monk was convinced again, and he began standing behind the door and asking her how she was, and she would answer him, and conversation led to more conversation, and time passed. Day after day the devil told him, "Why talk from behind the door? Go in and sit with her. Let her see you and feel more reassured by you." And indeed, the monk entered the cell, and the closeness increased, and one barrier after another fell. The devil kept dressing up the sitting and the laughter, until the great catastrophe happened. The monk committed adultery with the girl. The disaster didn't end there. The girl became pregnant by the monk, and anxiety began to eat at his heart. What will the brothers do to me when they return? What will people say about me? Here the devil came to him in the guise of a trustworthy advisor, and told him, "If they find out, they'll kill you. There's no solution except that you kill the child who will be born and bury him, and no one will know." The monk, from so much fear and despair, waited until the girl gave birth, and he went and killed the infant and buried him. But the devil is not satisfied with one blood. He told him, "Do you think the mother will be silent? She will expose you and fill the world with screams when she discovers you killed her son. Kill her too and bury her with him. And when her brothers return, tell them she fell ill and died, and you are an honest man, and no one will suspect you." And indeed, the ascetic who had been spending his nights in prayer killed the woman he had committed adultery with, and buried her with her son in a secret place. When the brothers returned from their journey and asked about their sister, the monk put on the part of the grieving man and told them, "The girl was virtuous, but she fell terribly ill and died, and I buried her and prayed over her." The brothers believed him and wept for their sister, thanked him for his care of her, and left feeling grateful to the righteous man. But the story still had one last terrifying chapter. One night, the devil came to the 3 brothers in their sleep, appeared in their dream, and told them, "The monk is a liar. The monk slept with your sister, killed her and her child, and buried them in such and such a place." In the morning, each of them told the others about his dream, and they discovered the dream had repeated word for all of them. Doubt entered their hearts, so they decided to go to the place the devil had described in the dream, and they began to dig, and the shock, they found their sister's corpse and her child beside her. The world turned upside down. People learned the truth, and the king ordered the arrest of the monk and his crucifixion as an example. As he stood on the cross, people looked at him with contempt, and death drew near. The devil appeared to him in his true form and said, "Do you know me? I am the one who did all of this to you, and I am the only one who can save you from death now." The monk was in complete despair and said to him, "What should I do? Save me at any cost." The devil told him, "Prostrate to me just once, and I will rid you of your fate." The monk, who lost his faith step by step, agreed and prostrated to the devil while he was on the cross. And at that moment the devil laughed his final laugh and said to him, "I am innocent of you. I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds."
The monk died a disbeliever after having been a worshipper because the devil pulled him from a look to a word to adultery to murder and finally to disbelief. This is the story that God mentioned in the Quran as a warning to us in Surah Al-Hush. Like the example of Satan when he said to the human, disbelieve, and when he disbelieved he said, indeed, I am free from you. Indeed, I fear Allah, Lord of the worlds. The ending was tragic, both the worshipper and the devil in the fire, and this story teaches us that pride in worship can open the doors to evil, and that the devil's steps begin always with something small and convincing, but their end is always loss and evident ruin.